How did you deal with negativity from friends or family or other people around you? Overcoming negativity from work colleagues and people I considered friends was one of the major obstacles I had to deal with in achieving financial freedom. When I made my decision, I continually focused on what I wanted to achieve. Hearing people say I couldn't do it or I'd fail only strengthened my resolve. In my mind, there was no conflict. I was already financially free. And because of this, I had no attachment, no emotional baggage, and no ego to defend. This caused negativity to roll off my new Teflon-coated back. While I accepted that other people had their point of view, it didn't mean that I had to accept their point of view for myself. After all, I was once where they were, and I learned to move on. The biggest negative feedback I got was from my work colleagues at the time. Fortunately, I learned to turn this negativity into a positive force in my life. I learned to feel compassion for people who displayed negativity towards what I was doing. Some call it ruthless compassion. I had to move away from them because I knew they were stuck in unfulfilling lives of economic and personal servitude. While learning my new wealth craft, I remained an artist potter. In 1997, I was invited to join a leading West Australian university to teach a degree course in visual arts. While engaging students in this role, I realized that while I was teaching them how to have a fulfilling creative lifestyle, at the same time I was teaching them how to have a poor financial lifestyle. So I quizzed the students' level of interest about learning the ways of wealth in addition to their curriculum learning. I told them I was happy to teach the general principles of wealth if they were happy to turn up early in the morning before formal lectures started. The students loved it. However, negative feedback from my academic colleagues was horrendous. They complained to the university hierarchy, who eventually closed this extracurricular learning down. Not to be outdone, I and 4 students started to share our ideas and experiences in public forums and went on to develop a company called Wealth Educators. We started by giving free presentations to whoever turned up, but as is often the case, few people found value in free tuition. And over a 6-month period, the maximum number of people at an evening session was 12. So I decided that if people didn't value free information, perhaps they'd value something they paid for. With this in mind, I started charging a fee for presentations. Soon, 120 people turned up. We were overwhelmed. We were all potters. We didn't have a clue about business. All we knew was that most businesses fail after 5 years or so. So we decided to develop a business rules of our own. First rule, see how many people operate businesses and do the exact opposite. 5 years later, we were a successful multi-million-dollar company. Negativity presents challenges called anti-forces. These anti-forces come from the social engineering of competing neuro-associations in your own mind and in the mind of others. Whenever you make important decisions, you'll generally have 1 or 2 motivators at work. In the first instance, you'll do something because it gives you pleasure to do it. Alternatively, you'll do something because you're suffering and you want to alleviate the discomfort. Sadly, the primary motivator for most people is pain, and this means you're not going to seek financial freedom until the pain of your current circumstances gets to the point of enough's enough. The fact is that most people live in a space called comfort zone. But if this space were appropriately labeled, it would be the amount of discomfort you can satisfactorily handle on a daily basis. In order to move forward, the pain of remaining where you are has to become greater than the pain you associate to the fear of change. Despite their levels of desire, most people are just not uncomfortable enough to purposely pursue change. The problem with comfort zones is that they continually seek out forms of gratification which act as distractions from the daily grind of discomfort you're in. You'll seek ways of nullifying daily discomfort, and this sets up all sorts of internal competing voices that arrest your progress in patterns will I or won't I, or motivational approach/avoidance. Whenever you have competing neuro-associations, the ones with the most emotional leverage win the psychological and emotional tug of war. They win because their neuro-pathways are more established. They form mindset. Through the years of conditioning, people are strongly conditioned to their primary motivators. If you don't change your neuro-pathways, the established are firmly in control of your results. This often means giving in to the demands of others, but you mustn't. The part of your mind that knows and believes you can do anything in not the same part that controls the actions you take. In order to change your neuro-pathways, you have to link greater amounts of emotional leverage to what you want. Make the pain of staying where you are greater than the discomfort and uncertainty you'll feel as you progress. To become a millionaire, I had to develop a new set of neuro-pathways. Establishing new neuro-pathways takes time, so please reach out and get the best support you can. Essentially, it's a process of replacing an old set of behaviors by patterning in a new set of behaviors. It's a process of encouraging one set of habits to waste away while creating more empowering habits that make the old habits redundant. The way you're going to get what you want is to practice, practice, and practice, because this allows you to develop and enrich new neuropathways.